Alex, bad luck. Did you ever see Jannik play better than tonight?
I don't know. It's been too many times playing him and seeing the same thing, so I'm not even surprised anymore when I face him and matches like these happen. So he was very good today. I think with the conditions a little bit slower and a little bit later at night, it's pretty tough to make him miss or hurt him. And yeah, he was bloody good tonight.
Mark.
Alex, I know it's hard right now, but obviously congratulations on the tournament. Mentally, how tough is it as a top 10 player who's made 4 Grand Slam quarterfinals when you go out and you have to play someone like tonight and have that experience? What's that like mentally?
Yeah, look, I'm going to be completely honest and transparent. It's tough. It's tough going out there and playing someone like Jannik, because ultimately, like, I think there's a lot of factors that vary into the scoreboard today, but matchup. I think he's probably my worst matchup, and you can see it in the head-to-head. But in these types of conditions, it's even tougher to play against him. So you go out there, you compete, you try everything, you bring every sort of different look that you can. But in these types of conditions where it's a little bit colder and you can't really get the ball out of his strike zone and he can just unload and not miss, it's tough. I think if we're playing middle of the day on a stupidly hot day, then that's when you can see some errors come out, and that's when you probably see Jannik not play at his best. But conditions like today, it's tough to rattle him at all.
Feeling like you've got more of an aura in the locker room and people come out and know you're going to be a tough beat. When you see him on hard court, based on what he's done over the last 18 months on hard court, what is that aura like?
Yeah, he's built this aura from beating everyone. Like that's the thing about it, right? He's not like he's just had a good week here, a good week there. He's just beaten everyone. Even I think the best way to describe it is the fact that he was able to, I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago, play Novak here and play pretty flawless and again give him not too many games, right? And Novak out here is one of probably the best player to have ever played on these courts, right? And the fact that he's got this top level that he can do this to players, it's pretty tough. You go into the match and you know it's going to be a battle. It's going to be tough. You're going to try different things, but then you're an hour and 30 in and you're struggling to win games and you're trying to find ways to get on the board. It's pretty surreal.
Do you feel that you got enough matches coming into the Aussie Open, and would you consider perhaps playing a tour event tournament instead of the United Cup in future years?
That's a great question. I mean, ultimately, I would have loved to play a couple more matches. The first week of the year, the way it kind of fell about, it didn't come, wasn't meant to be. But again, I don't think today was lack of matches ultimately. Well, what is probably not ideal is that in the United Cup, you can go out there and have a great 2 matches, but you're very much dependent on your team, which is, it can work both ways. You can not play well and your team take you through, or the other way around, but also the opponents you're playing, because that gives you then the different points, right? The way the point system works. So look, it is tough when you don't get through the group stages. So it's probably something I'm going to have to look back and think about and talk with the team.
Alex, you mentioned that top level that Jannik has, and you know the other top 5 players have. Are you able to describe, you know, what makes those top level guys so different to the guys you might play earlier in Grand Slam tournaments?
Yeah, I think what Jannik has in these conditions is he's got one very little unforced errors, and his ball speed is very high. So when you're trying to go toe to toe with him, naturally you're lifting your ball speed. So all of a sudden you're pressing more than you're used to, right? Which obviously creates a couple more unforced errors unless you're feeling the ball and feeling great. He's got amazing movement that he can absorb and defend, and he's so good out of the corners as well. So sometimes he can change defense into offense so quickly. And yeah, if you decide to be passive with him, he's got the firepower to hit those winners. And I think today he served at a very high level as well, which ultimately was what made the difference.
Alex, obviously you've got your home crowd out there. You've got thousands of people cheering you on. I just wondered, does that make it more difficult then when you're out there and struggling to sort of find any way to hurdle?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I know that whole crowd has got my back. They want me to go out there, make it competitive, try to make it into a match, and I'm trying my best. And if anything, it's frustrating that I can't do it, right? That I'm doing my best, but I can't make it into even a match where the crowd can get behind and start supporting, you know. And that's what he does so well. He comes out of the blocks in the sets so well, and whenever we've played, it feels like, you know, the first 3 games, 4 games, he gets the early break, right? And then all of a sudden, we never really end up getting to later stages of sets where all of a sudden you can have scoreboard pressure. All of a sudden the rallies can get a little bit tense, and I can, you know, ask more questions and get the crowd involved and all that kind of stuff. So it is disappointing. I don't want to leave like this, but yeah, I can only get better and come back stronger next year.
Do you have one?
Not that you. Yeah, sorry.
Alex, it's been a great run. You know, first time Australian has got to the quarterfinals. It's been really enjoyable, you know, for us as Australian, you know, tennis writers to write about you. I'm wondering, yeah, how you can reflect on the last week and a half, and also given the nature of the defeat tonight, you know, the positives and negatives.
I mean, the positives, I think how I handled everything. I mean, the fact that I came in this year top 10, and a lot of expectation, a lot of pressure. Obviously, the whole country wanted me to do well. I wanted to do well here, and yeah, I thought I handled it really well to put myself in this position. I would have loved to do more today, but this is what happens sometimes in tennis. And look, the negatives is, after playing some great tennis on home soil and gaining so much, you feel like you just been slapped across the face, to be honest, to finish off like that. And I guess the other positive is it's not the first time that I felt that. I felt the same thing when I played Novak a couple of years ago. So hey, I'll survive. I'll keep improving, and if anything, I just need to sit with my team and figure out a way to hurt Jannik on the court. That's ultimately the way we got to look at it and find different ways, because at the moment we don't have it. So back to the drawing board, like I've done my whole career, and as I said, I still don't think this is my ceiling. I still think I've got more in the tank, so I'll be searching for that.
Last one.
I guess you just sort of touched on the sort of the bittersweet result here of going to the quarters in all of them. Does an experience like this, particularly with a heightened expectation of playing at home, give you more or less belief that you can go all the way in a Grand Slam?
I mean, it's pretty tough right now for me to sit here after this defeat and tell you that I believe I can go all the way. But saying that, I do think that there are opportunities out there, and tennis is so much about matchups, right? And yeah, I think right now my worst matchup on tour is probably Jannik. You know, there's a head-to-head that doesn't lie, right? If I'm in a different side of the draw, different little section, then who knows? And I genuinely think I'm going to give myself opportunities. And I don't think my peak is making quarterfinals at a slam. I see other players that have made it further, have made semis, have made finals, and I do believe that I can be amongst them, right? If they have been able to accomplish that, then why not me?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wide World of Sports on YouTube is your home of the tennis this summer.
With highlights of the best matches of the summer of tennis, the on-court interviews and every day with the morning serve, you'll be ahead of the game.
So click that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing this summer.